Today, I have for you a 20-minute body weight and resistance band muscle building strength workout. So we have 4 exercises, 3 times through, 60 on, 15 off. 60 seconds to build muscle, that means 8 to 12 repetitions, just using those resistance bands if you have them. You're gonna hear a tone. I'm gonna start talking about our warm up here in a minute. I'm gonna provide modifications with dumbbells. So these can be resistance bands, tube bands, whatever you've got. Well, those tones are gonna tell us our work rest intervals. In 18 seconds, we're gonna jump right into our warm up and it's gonna go one right after the other. We're gonna start with a bird dog. Our hands under our shoulders, knees under our hips, and feet flexed. I want you to find a neutral spine position. This is a small arch in the low back. You can even put a ball there. Come with me. We're gonna lift opposite arm, opposite leg. Most important here, we've got a gentle pull in on that belly button. That gentle pull in means to pull that belly button up and away from your waistband, activating that core. This is not a pelvic tuck, tucking those hips under. It's not a bracing of the core. It should not interfere with breathing. We're reaching long, squeezing our glutes. In 13 seconds, we're gonna hop up to our feet, activate our core and balance a little bit more with a single leg lateral tap. Slow control reach, big squeeze, and hop up to those feet. Pick a leg. We're gonna balance on one, and then we're gonna tap out to the side, squeezing that bum as we tap those toes. Notice I'm keeping all of my weight on one foot here. I'm standing up nice and tall with my belly button gently pulled in because that's what we warmed up in that first exercise. This exercise warms up our glutes and our hips, stabilizing our ankles, knees, hips, and low back. So it might seem like not a lot, but you gotta make it worth it. Tall chest, chin tucked, and head pushed back so the ears are over the shoulders, over the hips. All that weight in one leg, 2 seconds, we're switching sides. Go ahead and warm it up on the other side. Big squeeze on those glutes. Notice I'm not shifting my weight towards that opposite foot, just tapping those toes, kind of like a dancer. If balance is hard for you, you can tap the ground in between, but I want you to lift the foot up and start working that balance. Gonna feel how much it engages that bum to tap out to the side. Gentle pull in, stay up nice and tall, down to 10 seconds, and we're gonna go to our total body lunge to row, and we're gonna pull that band apart if we have them. Go ahead and grab a resistance band. We're gonna go lightweight to start. Bring it out in front, roll those shoulders down and back. We're gonna step down and back into a lunge. Feet hip width apart, come up to balance, pull that band apart. Now, as you get used to this exercise, and we're gonna switch sides, you can pull the band apart as you come up and squeeze. If balance is tough, you can come to 2 feet as you squeeze the glutes and pull that band apart. As we squeeze the back, we're squeezing the shoulder blades down and back, not necessarily pinching together, because we want to keep those shoulders down away from those ears. 3 seconds, and we're finishing our warm-up. Legs and glutes are nice and warm. Our first exercise is going to be a lighter band. We're going to a squat with a resistance band scaption. So one band under the foot, under one foot, sitting down into a squat, standing up. We're gonna bring those arms up in front and slightly out front. So this is what it looks like. That's the scaption in line with the plane of our shoulders. Easy enough to do this with dumbbells, just substitute them in. Come with me. Aiming for 8 to 12 repetitions here. Nice, slow and controlled. This can be with that pull-up assist band, or tube bands, or those dumbbells. As we sit, our second toe is pointed forward. It's in line with our bony hips, not the top of or the widest set on our hips, not shoulder width. Toes, knees, and hips, nice straight line. not letting them go in or out. And if this feels uncomfortable, that might not be a bad thing, right? Sometimes discomfort, as long as it's not pinching, pulling pain, means we're working musculature that needs to be worked to stabilize this aligned position, this kinetic alignment, if you will, hence kinetic balance, 5 seconds. Stay up tall, shoulders down and back, 15 seconds rest. Our next exercise, we're gonna come down to the floor into a kneeling position. Knees hip width apart, feet flexed. Get a small lean back so that we keep that chest up tall and the bum tight, and we're gonna pull that band apart. All right, come with me. Big pull apart and squeeze. If you don't have a resistance band, you can do these in a bent over position. Slight incline, pulling towards those hips. It's simply a row. If you have any back pain, you can come into that quadruped and alternate sides. Obviously, when you're alternating, it's hard to get enough of those repetitions in. You may need to pause that video to get to 8 to 12. Big pull apart and squeeze right to the middle of that chest. This keeps those arms at that 45-degree angle, which helps keep our shoulders down and back away from our ears. What we don't want to do is have that chin pulling forward as we squeeze apart, or the shoulders climbing up towards those ears. This works that upper back, those areas, 3 seconds, that already feel tight. Now, we're gonna go to a resistance band deadlift. Band underneath those feet, you can go a little bit heavier. Feet hip width apart again. You can go 1 loop or 2. We're gonna bend those knees, pull up into that band. It's not pulling up, I'm sorry, that was a bad cue. We're pushing our hips forward to stand up. So we sit the hips down and back. Our chest goes towards parallel towards the floor, like we're picking something up off the ground. Our back stays neutral, so that means we have a small arch in the low back, gentle pulling on the belly button, supporting the spine. And my head is staying neutral as well, meaning I'm looking in front of me, and then as I go down, I'm looking at the floor, 3 to 4 feet in front of me. In order to stand up, I'm pushing my hips forward, squeezing my bum. I want to keep my shoulders down and back, so rolling them down and back. Slow and controlled down. Big push forward and squeeze, 2 seconds. Beautiful work. Finally, we are finishing with that body weight, and this is a resistance band push-up. Now, the resistance band goes around that back, whether it's 1 loop, meaning it goes here, and then under those hands on the floor, hands in line with the middle of the chest, bend those arms, exhale, push up. The knees or the feet, so you can drop down to those knees and use that as a shorter lever. Using this resistance band is going to help build that chest, shoulder, arm, and back strength to help you do that push-up. You can also do these on your toes on an incline. As long as those hands are aligned with the middle of our shoulders, our chin stays tucked and head stays pushed back, meaning we're not reaching that nose towards the floor. We're not going to turtle. All right? So on your toes, on your knees, or on that incline. Lots of options. If you're on your knees, you are not crossing those feet. And guys, we're down to 5 seconds. So 1 more. Down, exhale. Push up. And that is round number 1. All right? We're hitting the top with that squat to scaption. Band under 1 foot. And if we did it, we're going to try to remember which side we had it under last time. We're going to go under the opposite foot this time. Sit those hips back like we're sitting in a squat. Stand up. Arms, thumbs pointed up. Arms slightly in front of the body, about 30 degrees. Chin tucked, head pushed back. You should be leading with your hands, and this helps make those shoulders rotate properly. This is a nice, safe shoulder movement. Hopefully you're not having any pinching, pulling, or pain. You should almost feel, you may feel a stretch along the outside of those armpits as you bring those arms up and slightly in front. As you stand up nice and tall and long. If you need more resistance, you can put 2 feet on the band. Go down, up, nice and controlled. As we go up, don't let the chin come forward. That's round 2 for that exercise. We've got that kneeling resistance band row. The fun part about bands is we can increase the weight by stacking our bands, so you can double them over or add a band onto it. I'm just going to demonstrate a little bit of different ways to do this. Here we go. Big pull apart and squeeze right to the middle of that chest. And I'm going to go close so you can see my shoulder position here. As we pull, my shoulders stay down and back. As soon as my arms stop, I'm not getting that big arch and squeeze between my shoulder blades. That makes my chin come forward. As soon as my arms stop, I stop pulling it apart. I gently squeeze and release. Notice my chin isn't coming forward, and I'm not letting those shoulders round to the front. We want to keep them down and back. Gonna feel this working along the outside of those armpits. If I show you from behind, notice my back gets really wide, right? Because I'm feeling it work right through here, as well as the back of the shoulders and the back of the arms. Last one. Take a break. Get ready. Pick some bands that are going to challenge you for that resistance band deadlift. Again, you can go single loop or a double loop. The double loop's kind of fun because then you have handles. You don't have to hold on to it as much. Feet hip width. Remember, it's like we're picking something up, and we want to make sure we're standing in the middle of the band here. Big squeeze as you push those hips forward. As we go down, we want to make sure that those toes, knees, and hips are in a nice straight line. What we don't want is those knees kind of kissing in, leaning to one side or the other. And we shouldn't have any back pain here. So small arch in that low back, gentle pull in on the belly button, only going down as far as we can maintain neutral spine from head to hips, chest tall, shoulders down and back. You're under 10 seconds. Big push up and squeeze. Yes. Put those bands down. We're getting ready for those push-ups. Now, if you're ready to progress from a single loop in that push-up to a double loop, you can take the band, double it over, and twist it once. All right, this helps to keep that band from getting all wonky on you. All right, so crossed over, nice, slow, controlled down, push up and squeeze. One thing to be aware of in those push-ups is not letting those arms get way in front of you and having those elbows kick way wide. It's really, really hard on those shoulders. You want those hands to be in the middle of the chest, elbows about 45 degrees, meaning we're here. All right, 45 to 60 degrees, in line with the middle of that chest. We're not letting the hips dip. Pushing back through those toes, squeezing the bum. Oh, I'm feeling this double loop, guys. I'm feeling my chin want to pull forward. As that chest works, one more, we got this. Oh, baby, that's round number 2. We feeling good? I hope so. One more round, building muscle in the time that we have. It's going to help us reach those goals. Band under one foot to start. We'll switch halfway through. If you're doing it under one foot, squat to scaption. Give yourself 2 thumbs up for making it this far. And know you've only got about 4 minutes left till you earn that cool down and stretch. And you're almost there. Sitting those hips down and back. squeezing that bum to stand up nice and tall. You're proud. When I say chin tucked, I mean my ears are in line with those shoulders. My shoulders should feel relaxed down when my chin comes forward. My shoulders automatically come up. Puts a lot of strain on that upper back, shoulder, and chest. It's where we carry that stress. But if you're more aware of your posture, especially in your workouts, you're going to feel a big difference day to day in those stress areas. Kneeling, resistance band row. Here we go. Pull apart and squeeze. Slow, controlled release. Looking for that 2 count. 1, 2, 1, 2. Pull it forward or pull it back towards you. Focusing on that form. Shoulders down and back. Our feet are flexed so we can push back through those toes. You'll feel those glutes engage. This helps engage those lats a little bit more. Helps reduce. Getting those muscles to talk to each other helps reduce low back pain and get that core working together. 10 seconds, guys. 8 to 12 repetitions. Don't forget to breathe and watch that shoulder position. Whoo, baby. Feeling it work. That resistance band deadlift. Remember, this exercise is easy enough to do with dumbbells. It should not cause any pain in that low back. If you're experiencing pain, you can simply do a squat, which is like sitting in a chair. The chest just stays up taller. It should be more parallel to my shins. Whereas the deadlift, I'm getting a little bit more forward, increasing the work on my glutes, right? So I'm a little bit more forward, which means I get a bigger pull on my low back, which is why it can cause back pain. But with that gentle pulling on that belly button, hopefully that reduces that back pain. If not, chest tall, sit down, and push up. All right? Parallel to those shins for a squat, parallel to the floor or neutral spine as far as you can for that deadlift. Beautiful work, guys. I don't know that I got a double banded resistance band push-up left in me. So I'm gonna go 1 loop. Don't forget, you can use the incline. Come with me. Here we go. Now, the best way to work towards a full floor length push-up is using that incline so we're engaging that core. So feel free to use a set of stairs and walk, slowly work your way down the steps. So from the upper incline, all the way down. Upper arms should be parallel to the floor. I'm gonna go down to my knees. As I feel my form starting to get shaky, particularly through my shoulders, feeling my chin want to pull forward, want to keep it back. Exhale and push. This is your last exercise. You're working all the way to that tone. You're almost there. Oh man, we've got it. There you have it. Put that resistance band off to the side. We don't have a lot of time for a cool down and stretch, so I get very particular and focused on the muscles I want to stretch. We're going to hit that lunge position, back foot flexed. Feel free to place a mat pillow or blanket under that bottom knee. We're simply squeezing our bum, tucking our hips towards our ribs. Feeling a stretch through the front of the hip and thigh. Then you can reach up towards the ceiling, or even to add a small lean to the side. The shoulders should stay away from the ears as we reach overhead. We're breathing, tucking the hips under. We should feel that increase in stretch either through the front of the thigh or the front of the hip or through the front of the thigh. We want to hold this long enough to feel that stretching sensation go away. If you need to, switch sides or go ahead and pause the video. Finish stretching that side. You may notice one side is tighter than the other. This is totally normal. All right, just stay there a little bit longer or make sure you come back to it at a later time. And remember, you may only be able to reach up, or maybe you're not ready for that arm reach. That's okay too. All right, I'm gonna come down to a child's pose. Stretch those lats, stretch the low back, knees wide, toes together. You can reach those hands away. As we reach them away, we want to keep the shoulders rolled down and back away from those ears and sit those hips towards the heels. Big deep breath in through the nose. Exhale. Sink deeper. Hopefully feeling a nice stretch through the outside of the armpits or the low back as we round those hips. If range of motion is a problem for your knees, feel free to use a bench as you sit those hips back. This just helps take that range of motion out of it. We worked a lot of the back structures, so this one should feel really good. One more deep breath in. Inhale, exhale. Push that chest to the floor. I hope you feel fabulous as you work towards your goals, built some muscle, and got more kinetic balance out of your workout today. Thank you for joining me. If you want to get more workouts, longer workouts, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, please check out my website, join me on Facebook, subscribe, all of these options to help you feel your best. It's not just about the workouts that you do to help you reach your goals. You should feel awesome doing it. And my corrective techniques and my conscientious choices of workouts help you get the most out of your workout to help you reach your goals while preventing injury and reducing pain. Keep up the great work, and I hope to see you and hear from you in the comments below. Let me know your feedback so I can keep being better and stronger for you. Thanks for joining me.